is gonna be big, like 27 inches long roughly. But fellas, does dough length really matter? Yeah, it does. Across the surface of your dough. You should use all your filling. Then tightly roll it up from the bottom all the way up to the top so you get a nice, beautiful, thick log. Then using a serrated blade with scalloped edges and not toothy edges, because toothy edges are mean and they tear the poop out of this, so that's no good. Anyway, slice it into segments that are about 2 inches thick. You should end up with 12 solid rolls. Give or take a couple scragglers, that's okay. Lightly grease a 9x13 baking dish. I'll have a link in the description for mine. Line the bottom of the pan with your cinnamon rolls. Should get nice and even rows of 3. It's cool if they touch, you want that. Make sure to face their little tails towards each other. Now once your whole pan is filled with cinnamon rolls, lightly cover with plastic wrap and let that rise at room temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes or until they're 1.5 times their original size.
Wow, look at these fat boys.
Remove your plastic wrap, then just pop those bad boys into the oven, set to 375 Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes or until you get beautifully risen, plump golden brown cinnamon rolls. Pull those out and let those cool in their container for about 15 minutes. Now to make your vanilla bean cream cheese glaze, you're gonna start with 4 ounces or 115 grams of full fat cream cheese. Whip on high speed until nice and smooth, then blend in 3/4 of a cup or 90 grams of powdered sugar until completely smooth. Then mix in 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of whole milk. You may need a little more, but this should suffice. Once you get a nice thick but still drizzleable, is that a word? Glaze, add half of a vanilla bean scraped of its seeds. You can save the pod for later. Whisk that in, and you've got your glaze. Okay, so at this point in time, your bun should be cooled but still quite warm. Now you can just go ahead and drizzle on your cream cheese glaze. Use all of it. That is a cinnamon roll. Now all we gotta do is taste it.
We got 2 hot, why did I say it like that? Let's try mine. Cinnamon rolls. Bruh, and I don't say that. Look at the bottom of this. Caramelized, like a candy apple bottom jeans. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even want to say anything about this. At this point, just try the recipe because this is so astronomically better. The first bite, I promise you're gonna be like, every time. Today, Vikram's back with the... Nope, wrong way, Vikram. Other way around. There you go. That's the right way. All right, so today we're gonna be... Vikram's back by popular demand. Thank you so much for requesting. Okay, so we have number 1 and we have number 2. Here's number 1. All right. Oh God, it's on the bag. Here, just open. And then number 2. Just which one before I take the mask off? 1 or 2?
2 for sure, without a doubt.
Ew.
Alright, I will say number 2 is better because it was softer. Yeah, it wasn't dry at all. It was just a good
clean bite.
And I really enjoyed it.
We win by better again. Wow, look at that. You just can't stop
Defeating the establishment.
You want to call yourself the world famous cinnamon roll, then you're gonna have to go through me. And today, I don't think that really worked out for you, bro. But better, episode 14, we win.
But do you want to know what else is ultra thicky sticky? B-roll. Guys, and that is it. So we made Cinnabon cinnamon rolls. Now, here's the whole breakdown of the whole thing, right? There's 2 pieces to this story. Obviously, the cinnamon rolls need to be warm in order to be their best, all right? We warmed both. It was a clear winner. It really was. The hard thing for most people is like Cinnabon cinnamon rolls are supposed to be baked fresh, and therefore it's hard to compete with them, right? Because it's the fresh baked quality that makes them better. But you forgot about one very specific component, and that is love. When you roll that dough out and you lay down and go to sleep with it, there's just no other comparison. Now, you don't actually have to sleep with your dough, but the point is that you can make it far better cinnamon rolls by just taking the time to make them yourself, and that is the beauty of this series. That is why we're doing this. We are teaching everybody just the right way. There's nothing special about it. So anyway, with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Didn't forget to grab the handles, the small. Chocolate cake, get out of here. Okay, so we are doing the Domino's molten chocolate cake with crunch or something like that. Something about crunch, I don't know, potato chips? It's chocolate lava cake. We all know it, we've had it before at multiple restaurants. We've seen the whole like Chef Casper from the movie Chef yelling at him saying, molten. This video has two agendas. Obviously we wanna beat Domino's. The second is that we want to figure out if the ganache center or the underbaked center is better. So with all that said, let's make this, shall we?
Because it's Domino's, I figured it makes sense to just order it. It'd be weird if we went there and we'd be like, hey, can I have a cake, please? Whoa, it says a 4 stars out of 5. This is the Michelin one.
Our lobby is closed for dine-in service.
Do people dine in at Domino's? You're dining? No, you're not. You're stoned. Are y'all serving the molten chocolate cakes this early?
Yes.
I'll get 2 orders of them.
They're not very big.
Then I'll do 3 of them then.
Okay.
Good upsell.
You might call them like, oh, they're really small, but just a heads up. Okay, so your total comes out to be $16.48.
He woke up, baked, and I'm not talking about the chocolate lava cakes, went to work, and then I called, and he immediately was like, oh, fuck. Yeah? You know they're small, right? Okay, bye. I haven't even opened these and I'm already ready to go off. Gâteau au chocolat avec un crème. And underneath that it says, for those who don't know fancy speak, chocolate lava crunch cakes. Sir, this is not fancy speak. This is just another nation's language. For those who don't know fancy speak, crunchy lava cakes, Dad. They went on Google Translate, typed this in, and it's not even 100% correct. And so the French people who are watching this are probably like, oui. These look like 2 charcoal briquettes. Let's toss these under the grill. Let's make some burgers. See if it oozes. It's not oozing, but it's molten. This tastes a lot cheaper than I remember. It tastes genuinely like Hershey's chocolate syrup. That's not a good thing. If anyone's like, oh, I love Hershey's chocolate syrup, shh. And the crunch is not really there. I thought it was gonna be chewy, but it's just like crunchy because it's overcooked. And there's no salt! Oop, got some poopy on my finger. It's not terrible, but 100% not deserving of the clout. We can definitely outdo this. I'm gonna give you 2 ways to flex on them.
Okay folks, we got 2 versions here. It's the underbaked versus the ganache center versus Domino's. Let us begin with the sacrilegious underbaked version. First start with 4 6-ounce ramekins, grease each of them with butter, then powder them lightly with all-purpose flour, rotate the flour around the ramekin to coat all the walls, then dump out the excess flour. Repeat that with all of your ramekins. Then fill a medium sauce pot with about ½ an inch of water, bring that to a simmer, and in a medium-sized bowl, ideally glass, you're gonna add 165 grams exactly of bittersweet chocolate, around 50 to 60% cacao, and ½ a cup or 115 grams of unsalted cold butter. Place that on top of your simmering water. Please make sure the bowl isn't touching the water, okay? This is not a skinny dipping zone. Let that heat and melt, stirring occasionally. Then while that's going on, in a separate bowl, add 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks. Begin beating those 2 together using either an electric beater with a whisk attachment or a good old-fashioned elbow grease. Once that begins to turn a little lighter in color and the volume about doubles, add in 1½ tablespoons or 21 grams of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons or 43 grams of granulated sugar, gradually till all of it is added, ½ a teaspoon or 3 grams of fine sea salt, and 1½ teaspoons or 5 grams of vanilla extract. Keep on mixing that chocolate and butter together until it's completely melted and smooth. Then add your egg mixture to the chocolate and fold until thoroughly combined. Finally, fold in 2 tablespoons or 20 grams of all-purpose flour until combined, and there you have your cake batter. Divide your batter evenly between all of your ramekins and place in an oven that's been preheated to 450 Fahrenheit or 230 Celsius for about 10 to 11 minutes. Be careful here because we want them to be underbaked. The outside should be set, but the inside should be just a touch jiggly. Then just pull them out, let them cool for 1 minute in the ramekin, make sure they're loosened, and invert onto a plate. Dust them with powdered sugar. Optionally, brulee that sugar to a beautiful crisp using a blowtorch. Then dust once more with powdered sugar, and let's see that inside. Give it a cut, spread it open, and oh my, this one is juicy. Now let's taste it.
So this is the underbaked cake. Some people hate this. See, this has always been my go-to way of doing it. I don't tell people this, because people whine and cry, and they're like, but Chef Casper said in the movie that you have to put ganache. Jon Favreau, I want to kiss him on both cheeks. But this is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Compared to the Domino's, this one actually tastes like chocolate. You understand? We have 2 different options, right? This one is basically like the Kraft Singles cheese. And then this one is the fine Gouda made in a farmhouse right outside of Amsterdam, smoking a pipe filled with artisanal tobacco. There's a roast in the oven. They've got a La Cornue range. There's lavender fields everywhere. That's this one, okay? Oh my God, you see? It's the steam from my anguish. Taste tester now. TJ, get over here. There you go. That's number 1. A little hot a minute. You wanna blow on it a little? Okay, keep baby safe. That's number 2.
Ooh, okay, that's hot.
The second one sucks. It just tastes like sugar. Crunchy. It's got a nice texture to it, but that first one just tastes like rich chocolate. It's got a spongy, soft cake to it.
You heard it here. Second one's trash. Hold on now, we're not done yet.
Next up is the internet's favorite, the ganache version. First, we gotta, well, make our ganache. It's real simple. In a sauce pot, add 6 tablespoons or 90 milliliters of heavy cream and a small pinch of salt. Place that over medium heat, and as soon as it's hot and just barely simmering, pour that over 2.5 ounces or 70 grams of very finely chopped bittersweet chocolate. Let that stand for 3 minutes. Optionally, you can cover it with plastic wrap to help that insulate the heat. Then whisk all that together till melted and velvety smooth. Now just chill that in the fridge for about 30 minutes or until set. Now while that's setting, we'll make our cake base, which is very similar to the last one. In your janky Bon Marie setup like last time, you're gonna instead add 4 ounces or 115 grams of bittersweet chocolate, a quarter cup or 56 grams of unsalted butter. Again, steam, stir, heat until, beautifully melted in, smooth. In a separate bowl, add 3 whole eggs, and don't forget to drop some shell in there to bruise your ego. Then beat that until lightened in color and doubled in volume. Then add a quarter cup or 60 grams of granulated sugar gradually, a small pinch of salt, and half a teaspoon or 2 grams of vanilla extract. Keep beating that together till you get a voluminous, smooth, light, eggy boy. Again, add the egg mixture to the chocolate, fold together until thoroughly combined and homogeneous, and add in a quarter cup or 37 grams of all-purpose flour. Fold that together till you get a smooth batter, then divide half of your total batter amongst 4 4-ounce ramekins. Then to each of those ramekins, add a thick and heaping teaspoon of your chilled ganache, and try to keep that ganache an actual brown ball rather than a craggly mess. Then divide your remaining batter evenly amongst your ramekins until each has had their ganache covered. Then just pop those in an oven set to 375 Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius for 15 minutes or until the cake is cooked through. And of course the ganache is melted. You don't have to worry too much about overcooking the molten center since the ganache is, gonna stay molten. Then just pull those guys out, cool them for 2 minutes in their ramekins. If needed, run a knife around the edges and carefully invert onto a plate. Dust it with powdered sugar, brulee that brother, again optional but a whole lot cooler if you did. Dust it again, pop it open, and look at that. A little more molten on the inside, a little more liquidacious, if you will. But let's see if the taste matches its look.
You've always believed that I could switch to a better online tax service. And I did.
Oh my gosh, in the movie Chef, he put ganache, so that's the right way. Filling, can't say that. Now I gotta, why did I do that? No. One of them has poop and one of them has pee. Number 1. Number 2.
I think I'm gonna go with the first one.
Really? You're picking the first one. Man, these motherfuckers don't know shit.
There's just more chocolatey taste to it.
This tastes like Hershey's chocolate.
Good morning!
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Mr. Drug Dealer! Long time no speak. Well, how is your gangster activities going? It must be so time consuming. Mr. Top Boy, in fact, wait for me. Dad, why are you wearing that? Isn't this what you gangsters wear? Roaming the streets, taking people's jollof rice. I want to be like you. I'm just following in your footsteps. Dad, I'm confused. I don't understand. My son, if you don't put up your trousers, how can you have the audacity to gallivant yourself around this house? Abu! Yes, father. Nonsense.
Miss Cruz.
Yeah? Do you need me?
I've been absent a couple days. Do you think I could get some extra credit?
I got a couple ideas.
Really? That'd be great.
Why don't you come with me?
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalami Hey! Yo! What the fuck? He was just speaking Arabic. You guys are racist. Unbelievable.
Fuck, is this nigga trying to G-check me or something? I'm not moving from the road either. I'm standing my ground.
That's a gangster mentality right there.
Fuck is this nigga talking about? Oh, bro. He is coming tight fast.
Ain't no way it's only 10 degrees outside, cuz. My mama always want me to see how the weather feels. Damn, bitch. Oh, hell no, it's too cold for this shit.